my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today I wanted to share with you how I found my personal style. This has been something that has been so helpful for me in maintaining capsule wardrobes for the past 6 or 7 years now. And although it's something that is ever evolving, I wanted to share with you how I came about my personal style and how I've transitioned over the years and give you some tangible tips and tricks that you can take with you. So if you're excited, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe while you are here. Turn on the bell so you never miss a video, and let's go ahead and dive into it. One of the reasons why I started capsule wardrobing was to find my personal style. I felt like for so long I was trying to fit into different molds, whether that was trends that were out or people that I hung out with, and it was just because I didn't really know who I was. And so I tried to start with capsule wardrobing as a way to find my personal style, but in turn find myself as well. And I know that sounds so silly to do through clothes, but your style is a reflection of who you are. So that's just what it meant for me. And I feel like as the years have gone on, as life has happened, I mean, I started capsule wardrobing in my 20s and I'm now well into my 30s. So obviously life has changed. I've gotten older, my style has evolved, but capsule wardrobing has been a way for me to find that personal style along the way, and these tips and tricks can be applied whether you capsule wardrobe or not. Capsule wardrobe is just something that I do, but whether you have a closet full of clothes and you're just trying to figure out like what pieces speak to you and that kind of thing, or whether you're just feeling like a whole new you, a whole new chapter of life, and you're just wanting to find something that speaks to you, this will work across the board. Anywho, let's get to it. So the first thing is to find 3 to 5 words that kind of describe the style that you want to have, or describe the style that like speaks to you the most. I find that having descriptive words really helps in ways of like, it just kind of helps mentally put it into perspective, and it gives you something to kind of grasp on when the rest of it can kind of feel overwhelming, and this process can feel overwhelming. Having tangible words that you can hold on to just makes it seem a little bit less that way. So for me, as I was going through this process, and I've redone this past year because I feel like my style has evolved so much this past year. I don't know, maybe it was something having to do with turning 35, I'm not sure, but I just felt over this past year like this shift in just myself, but also my personal style as well. So I've done these things recently, so I'm gonna share mine with you. So when I sat down, I was like, okay, 3 to 5 words that can describe my personal style or what I'm going for. And for me, those words were comfortable, because yes, please, I do not want to have to be adjusting things when they're on. I don't want to be uncomfortable in my clothes, and nobody wants that really. So comfy, versatile. This for me was important because I do capsule wardrobes, but also just in general, I want things to just go together. I don't want to have to like think about outfits. I just want to like pull pieces and know that they're going to go together. So comfortable, versatile, farmhouse. I don't know if you can consider that a descriptive word, but when I was thinking about it, I was like, I'm not really like cottagecore, but I feel like farmhouse really just describes the life that I want, but also my personal style. You know, I just don't ask, it just fit, okay? Simple. I mean, I think that goes. This process, you could, you know, intertwine simple or timeless, but simple. Nothing like too crazy. I don't really do a lot of bold colors or prints or anything like that. I do like to like mix patterns, but anyway, so besides the point. Simple and then natural. For me, I'm trying to go with more fabrics that are natural. So things like cotton, bamboo, linen, those kinds of things. One for sustainability purposes and, you know, obviously just protecting this world, but also just for breathability and care-wise as well. I find that they're a lot easier to care for. So those were my words in a nutshell. Comfy, versatile, farmhouse, simple, and natural. Once I had those, I almost could just see it coming together already and what I was going for, and it already made me feel some type of way. You can pull inspiration from other people's wardrobes and, you know, Instagrams and TikToks and stuff like that to try to figure out like what kind of your vibe is. You could be sporty, you could be athletic, you could be athleisure, you could be boho, you could be, like I said, cottagecore, punk rock, like whatever your style is, try to find 3 to 5 words that really encapsulate that. Once you have your words, I like to go and try to think about the color palette that I want to go for. And don't like shy away here, because I know that, you know, that kind is a very like capsule wardrobe thing to say, is like everything has to go together or whatever. When I say color palette, I mean, you know, anything having to do with obviously color. So your color words or what you want to go for color-wise could be patterns, it could be 70s prints, it could be 80s colors, neon, pastel, that kind of thing. So I'm not saying you have to stick with like white, gray, black, not at all. I'm just saying try to pull a few colors that really speak to you or that make you feel confident when you wear them, or just kind of go with the overall vibe that you are going for in your wardrobe. So when I sat down and actually looked at the pieces that I love wearing, I noticed 3 kind of patterns, colors, whatever, that I really gravitated towards, and that was neutrals, surprise, surprise, dusty, which you might be like, what? But I mean like dusty colors. So like, you know, this kind of orange I consider dusty, like dusty pinks, dusty oranges, that kind of thing. They're not bright, they're kind of stripped back a little bit, muted, so dusty was the word that I came to mind. And then warm. Warm tones are what I find works well for me and my skin tone, and just what I find that I like wearing overall. You know, I like I said, neutrals, but like a lot of oatmeal colors, you know, warm tone pink colors. Cool tones don't really work that well with me. I think it's just because I already have like a lot of redness in my skin, and you think it would cancel each other out, but it doesn't. Anyways, I just feel more confident in warm tones, and that's what I gravitate towards. My favorite pieces are more warm tones. So those are the colors and kind of scheme that I was going for. And then the last thing in this brainstorming phase was figuring out or writing down how I wanted to feel in my clothes, in my wardrobe. Like, what did I want my wardrobe to say? How did I want to feel when I wore the pieces? That kind of thing. So for me, again, I wanted to feel comfortable. Like, this is one of the most important things for me. Like I said, tugging at things, worrying if something's going to fit or how I'm going to style it, or not having the right size of things, which is huge. If you watch any of my past couple videos, you know I've talked about my body going through a bunch of different changes. So I just wanted to feel comfortable in my clothes. I didn't want to be squeezing into anything or too balloony and didn't make me feel great. So comfortable, confident, and I think this is probably the most important thing about all of this is confidence. I want to feel confident in every single piece that I own. Not just 1 or 2 or 3 pieces, every single piece. I want to put it on and go, yes, queen, every single time. I don't care if it's a sweater, I don't care if it's a t-shirt. I want to feel confident in that no matter what. So that means that the fit has to be perfect, the sizing has to be perfect, everything. And then the last one for me was I wanted to feel effortless. And again, this kind of goes back to like versatility and kind of going off of that, but effortless. I want everything to go together. I don't want to have to overthink it. I want to know that like this and this make an outfit and that was really easy and I didn't have to put a lot of energy or brain power into it, because I know that every single piece that I have in there makes me feel confident, makes me light up in some sort of way. So it's just effortless, but also I want it to look that way too. That's kind of what I would like to present, that like I just threw this on and it took me no time. Like obviously that's the goal, like on the inside, but like I want to reflect that on the outside as well. So that's kind of it in the brainstorming portion of this. We're gonna pick some words, we are going to talk about color palettes and patterns and where we want to sit with that, and then also how do we want to feel in our personal style and how do we want our wardrobe to make us feel. Once we have that, then is my favorite part, and this might make me sound really old, but I don't care. Take to Pinterest. Is Pinterest a thing? Because if it's not, I'm bringing back Pinterest, because it is probably the app that I spend the most time on besides Instagram. And that's no joke. I freaking love Pinterest still. So if you don't want to use Pinterest, if that makes me really old, that's fine. TikTok, Instagram, the internet, and just create an inspiration board or a saved folder or something on your phone or what have you that really encapsulates the personal style that speaks to you. So find pictures, find pieces, find words, or photos or post photos, whatever your choice is. We're gonna take that and we're going to make an inspiration board. And this is one of my favorite things to do, because it just makes me, one, like be creative with my outfits, because I might see something that like I necessarily wouldn't have put together but I really like the look of, or mixing different textures or patterns, that kind of thing. But it also just helps with the overall inspo, especially if you don't have the pieces that you would like in your wardrobe already. So this is a great way to kind of create a shopping list, and we're going to talk about that too, but kind of create a shopping list and go from there and just see what speaks to you as you're scrolling. So like I said, whether you have an album or a saved folder on Instagram, or you're like me and you use Pinterest, just scroll through, take some time, don't rush it. This could be over a couple days, a month, whatever, and just keep adding to it as time goes on, and you'll see the things that you start to gravitate towards, and you'll kind of see your style just in obviously picture form come to life. And for me, this was one of the most exciting things, because once I had all of these words and colors, it was so easy to look at a picture and go, yep, this is me, or no, it's not. If it was in cool tones, I'm like, no, that's not for me. Or if it was different textures mixed together, I'm like, I really like that. Or if it was in warm tones, like, yep, absolutely. Or linen or whatever. Maybe it was outfits that I really liked or whatever. But it was so easy to determine what was me and what wasn't. And as you start to form this album, that's just gonna come forward even more and more, and it's so fun to watch it come to life. And it also just takes the overwhelm out, because you're like, okay, this is me right here, right now, and like, let's go out and get it. But before you go shopping, let's take some time to actually look in our own closets first, because I guarantee there are some pieces in there that already speak to your personal style. So let's go through. I'm not saying you have to do a capsule wardrobe, but that's not you. But just take some time to pull out your favorite pieces and lay them out so you can see them all in one space and see this wardrobe come to life. And then you can start slowly weeding out the things that are not serving your style anymore, that aren't serving you anymore, and do a declutter that way. And this is going to take time. Like I said, I've started capsule wardrobing and like trying to figure out my personal style like 7 or 8 years ago, and it's evolved over time, but I never felt like I had like a full grasp on it, and I'm just now feel like that way. So this has taken some time. I'm not saying this is going to happen overnight, but you can do this process, you know, little by little, and it will come to life over time. And we don't want to create a ton of waste. That's not the goal here, and the clothing industry is one of the most wasteful. So really the point is to pull from your own wardrobe, and just like I said, little by little over time, make the choices that go, okay, this isn't serving me anymore, and this isn't serving me. I'm not saying you have to do this massive declutter, because that in itself is overwhelming. Do this just a little bit of time. You might go to put on a top and go, you know what? This doesn't speak to me anymore. I don't like the way this fits, or this doesn't like fit into the vibe that I'm going for, and part with it then. Same thing might happen a month later with a dress that you put on. So it doesn't have to be all at once. It can be, you know, it can happen over time. So pull out of your own wardrobe what you love, see it all out there. From there, you'll notice the holes that are missing now that you have kind of your style in pictures and then what's in front of you. You'll notice what's kind of missing and what you don't have, and you can take the time to add those pieces in. And you'll know going forward that, you know, if something's not perfect, it's not coming in. And I use perfect as like a relative term. There's no such thing as perfection, obviously, but I'm saying, like, don't waste your money on something that's not, you know, in the color scheme that you want to go for. It doesn't feel the way that you want it to feel. Don't just buy to buy. Take the time to fill in these holes the right way. And that will just serve your personal style more so in the long run. For me, I like to try to do this secondhand because that just makes me feel good, and I know that I'm not creating more waste that way. So I try to sell the pieces that aren't serving me and then try to find new ones secondhand. That's not always the case, but I do try to do that first and then move on to other brands that I know and love. And that's really it. So once you have done all of those things, you are going to see your style come to life in front of you. And again, this takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. This could be years and years of happening. Just be patient and keep up with these things. Check in with yourself every once in a while, because like I said, we evolve as people. Life changes. I mean, you might move from one climate to another, and then this haul needs to happen again because your personal style has to change due to where you live, you know? So it's ever evolving. Just be patient with it and have fun. This isn't something that should feel like a chore or bring you down in any sort of way. It's something that should make you feel confident and be kind of like an adventure, you know? Go out and try new things. You might not even know parts of your personal style yet, and then you might try something on and go, yes, this is it right here, right now. So go out, have some fun, and let me know in the comments if this was helpful, if you do any of these things, how it gets on, how your style evolves. I would love to hear it. Thank you so much for watching, and again, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on the bell, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!